All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always exciting to be back.
So today we're taking a closer look at a listener's story, something that's stuck with them for, gosh, about 25 years now, right?
Yeah, about a quarter century ago. Really makes you think, huh?
It really does. And you know what I found so interesting about this story is how it starts out so normal, like just a regular evening at home, chilling in your bedroom, watching some TV, not exactly the setup for an X-Files episode.
Right, exactly. Not out in the woods or anything, just, everyday life.
Exactly. And then out of nowhere, this glowing orb just kind of pops into existence. Just boom, there it is.
And it's not just some quick blip on the radar either, right? I mean, they had time to actually look at it, take in the details. It was about the size of a basketball. This blue glow to it, almost ethereal, kind of like, something out of a movie.
Yeah, it really captures your imagination, doesn't it? And what really gets me is our listener described this feeling of being watched, like the orb was studying them.
That sends chills down your spine,
Yeah.
That feeling of being observed by something you can't understand.
It's so primal, isn't it? Makes you wonder, what is it about the unknown that triggers that response in us?
Definitely something to ponder. I mean, it's no wonder this memory has stuck with our listener all these years. I bet it's one of those things you just can't shake.
Absolutely. So where do we even begin trying to make sense of something like this?
Well, I think a good place to start is with ourselves, actually, with human perception. I mean, our brains are incredible, but they can also be tricked, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm always seeing faces in, like, random patterns on the wall or whatever.
It's called pareidolia. It's that tendency our brains have to try and find familiar patterns, even in random things. Like, we see faces in clouds, animals in rock formations. It's totally natural. So, maybe in this case, their brain was just trying to make sense of some unusual visual input, and it interpreted it as this orb.
Like, maybe it was just light reflecting off the TV screen or something, playing tricks on their eyes.
Yeah, could be. Or, there's this other thing called the autokinetic effect. Basically, if you stare at a stationary point of light in a dark room for a while, it can start to look like it's moving. Now, they didn't mention it being completely dark, but maybe there was a combination of low light and some weird visual stimulus that triggered this effect.
Okay, so maybe it's our own brains messing with us. That's a good starting point. But what if it wasn't just perception? What if it was, I don't know, something else?
Well, then we're venturing into some pretty intriguing territory, and that's where we might start talking about, unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs as they're called these days.
Ah, UAPs, right. So could this orb experience actually fit into that category?
It's definitely possible. I mean, there are documented cases of UAPs that sound pretty similar, glowing orbs that appear and vanish suddenly.
Yeah, like those Foo Fighters sightings during World War II, right? Where pilots were seeing these orbs of light following their planes.
Exactly. So this, seeing strange lights in the sky, it's not exactly a new phenomenon. People have been reporting this kind of stuff for decades.
Okay, so if we're entertaining the possibility that this was a UAP, what are some of the, leading theories about what these things actually are? I mean, do we have any idea?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, nobody knows for sure. But there are some interesting theories out there. Some researchers think they could be, really advanced drones, maybe even experimental military tech that we're just not aware of.
Right, like top secret stuff they're testing out.
Exactly. But then there are others who think UAPs could be natural atmospheric phenomena that we just haven't fully figured out yet. I mean, there's still a lot we don't know about our own planet, right?
Totally. And I guess there's always the possibility of, aliens.
Yeah, extraterrestrial activity is definitely a theory that some people subscribe to. I mean, the universe is a vast and mysterious place, right? It's hard to rule anything out completely.
Okay, so we've gone from, tricks of the mind to maybe secret government projects to potentially aliens. I gotta say, this is a lot to wrap my head around.
I know, right? It really makes you think. But I think that's part of the beauty of it all, This unknown, it pushes us to consider possibilities beyond what we currently understand.
I totally agree. It's like even if our listeners' experience that night was something totally explainable, it still shows us that there's so much we don't know, even about our own perception of the world.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really important takeaway. Even if we don't have all the answers, the fact that we're asking the questions, that we're curious, that's what keeps us moving forward, keeps us exploring.
This deep dive has definitely left me with more questions than answers, but I think that's a good thing. It sparks that curiosity,
For sure. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday we'll have more answers.
Well, huge thanks to our listener for sharing their story with us. It's a great reminder to keep an open mind and never stop questioning.
Couldn't agree more. Keep looking up at the night sky. Keep wondering. Who knows what other mysteries are out there just waiting to be discovered?
On that note, folks, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.